know our ideas and our goals. But we'll first start with a quick activity, and then we'll fill you in with more information. So they're going to be handing out some cards, each with a specific job on them. So it's now your turn to we'll hand out some tape, and you have to decide whether that job belongs only to a woman, a man, or both. So here's some tape.
I have a question.
Yeah?
Like, worldwide or in a specific country?
Like, what's your idea? Here, in the board.
Está rica. Pero es así. Musician.
Clavo Whitney. Sí, ya. No, vamos a poner voz.
Ayer me llamaron.
Ayer me llaman a otra.
Okay, guys, so can anybody raise their hand that put one job in like a specific category? Okay, why did you put, which one did you put and why did you put
I
it?
put musician and then, I don't know, I just, like most of the famous musicians I know that I listen to are all women.
But do you think that a woman can be a musician too?
Maybe, but
Maybe.
I don't listen.
But you put it there because you see like in our society that men are normally musicians.
Yeah, like the most successful musicians.
Any other for the woman category? The one with nurse?
Anybody?
Okay.
Dancer, because that's how society views. Like mostly if you're a guy and you dance, you're either gay or just different.
And for both? Who put any for both? You.
Astronaut? Well,
Why'd you put it in there?
well, they're having both like women and men that are astronauts.
Even if you've never seen a woman be an astronaut before, would you still believe that she had the right to be one?
Okay, this is an activity we did with kids from 4th grade, and they were way more specific. They put like that jobs like secretary were just for women, and jobs like police were almost just for men.
Okay, so young children appear to acquire gender role stereotypes around the same age they develop gender identity. This would be like around the age of 5. So society's views are instilled in these children, and it corrupts their blank slate on their concept of the entire world, and it creates a generation that isn't open-minded, a youth that doesn't see further than gender roles or society's guidelines. And these views are the ones that prevent a lot of women and men from fulfilling their life desires. And it starts out small with a girl not being able to play with truck toys instead of a Barbie doll, or a boy having to denounce his feelings because of his gender's condemnation towards vulnerability. But then it extends to much more. It extends to gender discrimination, creating a barrier towards education. Our children that we visit every Wednesday from this impoverished area, they believe that certain jobs pertain to only certain genders. And to see that is just heartbreaking, because when they picked a boy to be an engineer and a woman to be a mother and take care of the children and not get an education, they just decided their entire future in front of us, the one without an education. And this is going to keep on being the reality unless we do something about it, and that's where we come in.
So, what is RISE? RISE is a non-profit organization founded by 6 Balboa Academy students with the goal to promote gender equality and education for all. RISE desires to achieve these goals by educating young children to prevent discrimination of gender roles in their future lives.
So by educating a promising youth, we can help prevent the problems women are exposed to nowadays. In RISE, we believe that in order to create equality, we need both genders to rise together. So that's why we created a project called RISE, in which we educate both girls and boys. Every child deserves an education, and by strengthening their academic background, their set skills, their knowledge of equity and its use, we can help create successful adults in the future. RISE Kids tries to implement itself in the society and tries to help with these abilities by informing, building, and educating a promising youth. So what do? We go to a school in Chorrillo, an area submerged in poverty in Panama. Like, it's totally different from the city. I don't know if you have seen Panama. But these kids have different views from us, and we teach them both English and gender classes. So with the English classes, we want to teach these kids that education is important. And by learning a new language, or by staying in the educational system, finishing high school, it can open so many doors for them.
Okay, the gender lessons, with them we want to create a generation where gender discrimination is not an issue. So, and to show them that gender does not define them or their access to education.
And in the English program, as she said before, we try and teach them like the importance of education. And you can really see it in the kids when we go with them. Like right now, we're going to implement a program that's called DineEd, which is like a children-friendly like learning thing for English. And like when we told them, like they just like cheered, and like it's just so heartwarming to like see that, because like these kids actually want to learn, and like they don't have the opportunities we do, but like they have the same drive. Yeah.
And gender classes also, like we work with the kids, and when we ask any question, you can see the guys like me, raising their hands like I want to say this all over the place, but the women are like, should I say something, should I not? They're not quite sure. And I was talking with this girl that her dream was to become a president, but she was like, I can't even stand in front of a class and tell anything to my classmates. Like, how can I stand in front of a country and tell people how to like actually live, and this is the law and this is everything? So we try to empower these kids, that the women especially that we can see are not quite secure with themselves, they can do whatever they want. A boy can dance, a girl can do this. Just because you're a specific gender does not define who you are. You can do whatever you want. You just have to, we help them by building self-confidence and teaching them that they can achieve whatever they want if they're willing to.
Okay, we want to build an environment where they feel powerful enough and confident enough to be who they want to be, and we want to like eliminate that wall that is keeping them from getting the education they deserve.
Okay, so this is kind of like what we do every Wednesday.
So I think we will proceed, and later if we finish the activity really quick, we can show you the
Okay,
video.
so with the example of our first activity, it's now time for you to create a workshop with the purpose of teaching kids from 4th and 6th grade what is gender equality and how they can promote it in their community.
So you can make groups of 4 or in like the tables you are in.
Well, they need 2 more over here.
So if you want, you can make groups of 4 or in your own table. I'm gonna give you 2. So does anybody understand what we want you to do?
No, I don't understand.
So you saw the first activity we made. So we actually did that to the kids, and they decided whether the jobs that we put were for specific jobs. So the lesson we wanted to convey was that I can be an engineer, I can be a dancer, you can be whatever you want, and gender does not define it. So we want you to make a workshop where you can teach a kid about gender equality.
Like to create a workshop.
Yeah, like one we made. Any activity will help the kids. So what I'll do is 2 or 5. We're gonna give you another picture. If you need more paper, we can give you some. Imagine this is a class. So, guys, have in mind we're working with kids of 4th or 6th grade. So they're like little. Don't make it like that complicated. So make it simple for them to understand, but still convey a message about everybody is equal and everybody has an equal opportunity.
And a lot of what we do normally is that we make it like interactive with the kids. So like,
O sea, como que sean los niños vestidos como bailarinos y los
like ask them like, why do you think this and why do you think that? So they have to like realize
You will be presenting this activity to the whole class. So imagine this is the kids in 4th or 6th grade. And you can bring everyone.
Yeah, so
A lot of kids are like, oh, you did something wrong. And they're like, kick you. It's like, no, you don't do that, you know?
Because all of those things we just talked about, I think, is one of ours.
Ok, es que se está bien, si quieren hacer. Your mom and your mom. Bueno, y si no quieren juntos, mom. Ok, como ya dije, que lo pasa un modelo.
They're trying to figure out day one. This is day one. I think two. So day one. This is day one. I guess. Experience and
What do you be when you grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up? Or what do you think you'll be doing? Oh, yes. What do you think? No. You'll be doing and what you want. What you're going to be yo voy a hacer Dad is tired.
Yo voy a hacer esto de matar.
Guys, we're gonna give you 2 more minutes to finish your activities and then you have to come to the side.
Se apagó.
Me estuve enamorada 3 minutos de picar.
Okay, we're gonna start with the first activity. I really like the idea of the switch, so you're gonna come first. Necesitas?
No, we're not doing anything.
Okay,
Okay,
so
I'm gonna ask all of you to stand up. Okay.
you are the kids, okay?
You're all 4 years old, right? And you need to take the role. And all of you are gonna start dancing. All of you, right now. Start dancing. No, really. Like, you're 4 years old. You're not ashamed of anything. Start dancing. Now, start acting like a police. Start acting like a police. Okay, then start acting like a truck driver. Start acting like a nurse. Like a nurse. Okay, can you all sit down again? Okay, basically, what you just have done, you just thought that you can be nurses, you all can be truck drivers, you all can dance. So why do you all believe on stereotypes? You can do whatever you want.
Okay, guys, pay attention. They're gonna present the workshop.
You don't have to do it. We're just going to explain. So we like each girl will be given will be given a family role and they'll be called up so they can act out in a specific situation.
O sea, I call, for example, her, Gabby, and you, and then you have to act as like a parent. Like what do you do?
Why don't you do it?
Okay, Gabby. Okay, who wants to be the volunteer? Girl volunteer.
You too. So you have to act. So like you remember your kids, right? So you have to act like your parents, like what you're doing.
Well, what should I do?
Okay, so you just came work
What
from
do you think?
You just came from
What
work.
do you think your dad does?
You just came from work and you're tired. You're tired and you've been taking care of the children the whole day.
Cleaning and taking care of the kids because that's what women are expected to do. But
Maybe I should be like on the couch, working on something, on the computer, or phone calls.
But you asked her to cook because you've been working all day and she's been working all day too. So why?
So we have to act it out.
Sí, cuando talk to her.
Okay, so lady.
She's your mother.
You were kids acting out as your
Okay,
parents.
you're a kid acting out as a parent.
I don't know, that's what I think.
should I do it like how I would respond or how the stereotypes would respond?
Like how the kids think.
What they see at home.
What they see at home. What the kids see at home.
Okay. What do you want?
Mexican food.
Okay. But I've been working all day. Maybe I could like rest a little.
Why? Men don't get women.
Yeah.
Good job.
Oh, yo quería meterle.
Okay, ours would be like an activity that would happen after, like you would go one day and then you would have to do another. It would be to tell them to come as their dream job, but not no discriminations. They could come as a woman as a policeman, a boy as a librarian or a dancer or whatever they want to be. And so they can just like express themselves however they want to be.
We also came up with the idea that you could call job professionals, one from each sex, and they have to explain what their job is about and what they have to do, and for the kids to notice the difference that there actually is none, so they realize that they can be anything they want.
Okay, so our idea was that the kids should take on projects about famous women and men that defied gender roles and excelled at unconventional professions. For example, guys can pick a female figure for example, a famous woman that was an engineer or an athlete, and girls can pick an influential male figure, for example, a male that was a dancer or a nurse. And they can make like a poster and present it to the class.
Alright, guys.
We have been observing that we almost have the same ideas, so we're just gonna present the ones that we have.
Okay, so it would kind of be like longer activity, and then we could do it here. But like all the stereotypes activities of dancing and soccer, obviously to dance for a boy is like super, no, and then to play soccer, all the boys are gonna be like, girls are gonna lose. So we would invite someone to come, a dancer or a boy, to show them that they can do it and they can dance and it's not restricted to boys and it's not restricted to girls. And then the same for soccer. We could show that the girls can also play and that the girls have the ability to be as good as them.
And we will bring a female soccer player so women see that girls also play soccer, and we will bring male dancers so boys see that males do dance.
And maybe at the end of them explaining what they do and that they can do it as well, we're gonna make them dance like boys dance and girls play soccer. And then at the end, we believe that something that can help them build some self-confidence would be that throughout the days, this would be a 2-day experience. So throughout the 2 days, maybe they can get together like 3 times a day, the whole group, to dance together like a song. And at first, you will try to see them, and you will see them that they are so shy. They're not going to be dancing because they think that they're for girls. And girls are not going to be dancing as well because they're going to feel uncomfortable. So at first, you will see that they are being shy, and at the end of the day 2, after 6 times dancing together, you will start to see some people getting out of their shells and stepping out from their comfort zone and maybe try to dance as well. So they're shy, like being shy is going to be out for them. And maybe for day 2, we're trying to implement charades, like girls and boys. Girls are going to think out first, like we're going to separate girls and boys, and girls are going to be thinking jobs for men, and boys are going to be thinking jobs of women. So then we're going to get them together, and we're going to make them act and play charades, both different.
Good job. All right.
Alright, so you guys said that you also promote like girls and boys rising together to tackle the issue of gender discrimination. So we thought we could put the girls and the boys together in a circle and make them do the human knot. And so they realize that only working together they can tackle the human knot, just that working together they can tackle gender discrimination.
Okay, our project will be for self-esteem. Like first you need a paper and you write a person's name that is in the class, and then you pass it around, and each student had to write something they like of that person, and at the end, like each person comes like to the front with his or her paper and says read everything the people like of him or her. So we think that's important because, as I said, like the girl that wanted to be a president, well, she can be a president without self-esteem, and you can go in life without self-esteem, so we think that's important.
Did they have other ideas they wanted to share?
Yeah, they have the same idea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you want, we're gonna end up putting the video. This is one session we made. One day we went. We go every Wednesday. So this is both the English and the gender class. It's just a mixed video of both of them.
Okay, so before we conclude, do you guys have any questions about like how we came to be or like?
Did I understand right that you guys started as she's on first, she's the first,
Yeah.
and then so how did that transition take place?
So like we came here last year, well not here,
Yeah.
to the last gin conference, and we came in She's the First, and after we presented, we watched a bunch of like other workshops, and we decided that like we needed that human factor in our project. I mean, there was girls in Panama that needed so much help, and we were just like fundraising and sending money to like random girls that we were having no connection to, and we saw the need in our community, so we created Rise.
Okay.
Anybody else?
You say it's an NGO. Have you really? Is it an official? Like, have you?
Not
No,
yet.
but we've
A
made.
nonprofit, or is this you guys go? And
Yeah, like
volunteer?
we're a program that developed from the group Rise. But
Right.
we have made like a lot of activities.
Yeah.
We made last month we made like a screening of
Right.
Girl Rising. I don't know if you've seen the documentary. So all the funds we got from the Girl Rising are going to the new project we're doing for the English class. So yeah.
Maybe you can show the trailer of the.
Oh yeah, it's a really cool video. It's on Netflix if you want to see it. Like, you can go. It's really cool. So we raised a lot of money, and we were able to get the program to the kids, and they're really excited. We're gonna present them next week for the project. So
We
we'll help
raised-
them with their.
We raised about $7,000 just.
Given the right to education.
Tonight, one of the bravest girls in the world.
Malala Yousafzai became renowned for demanding girls be given the right to education.
shot in the head on her school bus.
She was a student who wanted to learn, but now she's fighting to live.
I was 11 years old when my father arranged for me to be married. I had heard about the thousands of girls sold to men in those places. I can't really talk about everything that happened to me here, but I will never forget. We have come to this house, the house of her master, to say you must set her free.
Regrets collect like old friends, here to relive your darkest moments. I can see no way, I can see no way, and all of the ghouls come out.
There is no miracle here, just a girl with dreams. I will read, I will study, I will learn. If you try to stop me, I will just try harder. If you stop me, there will be other girls who rise up and take my place. I am change. I am my own master now. I feel as though I have power. Now there's nothing to stop me. I feel I can do anything.
Good job, congratulations.
Thank you. So basically what we saw as a problem is that gender discrimination is not only like bad for the kids. Like, yes, a lot of women are not able to play soccer because the guys say, you're a girl, you can't play this, like you're not good at this. But that eventually leads up to a worse future for women. They believe that they can do certain jobs, and they are going to believe that until they grow up. So maybe I wanted to be a scientist when I was a kid, but I saw that my class was only boys, and almost none of the girls liked doing science. And I told a lot of my friends that I like doing science, but they were like, that's for boys. And she's going to change her whole entire mindset, and she probably won't go to college and study science. She will study something else that's more related to a woman's stereotype job. So this is not only a problem that happens to kids, not only let them play soccer or not let them dance or anything, but that eventually grows into a worse problem. A lot of the girls in the Girl Rising video, they were not allowed to get an education just because they were girls. Yes, it's a different type of mentality because it's a different type of religion or a different type of a place. Like, everybody here, a girl can go to school, but there, they don't think a girl is allowed to have a voice, to go to school, to even say like, no, I don't want to marry this dude. Like, I'm 11 years old, I don't want to marry. They don't care. You're a girl, you're going to do whatever I want. Therefore, we want to stop the problem from the beginning. So that's why we work with kids of 4th and 6th grade to stop the discrimination between genders. We're the same. We can do whatever we want, and that will not define our future. If a girl wants to be a president, and because she hasn't seen any women presidents throughout her life, like in Panama, she thinks she's not capable. But she can do it. She can be the first one in her generation to be a female president. Just because you're a girl doesn't mean you don't have the rights, you're not able to do anything. You can do it. You just need to rise. And that's why we need both the help of boys and girls, because we can't do it together. We need the boys' help to rise. Because if we change their mentality, they will help us grow, and we will help them grow. That's why we created this project. Yeah.
Everybody needs to rush out as quick